Did y'all really have beef with the Supremes?
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't expect it like that.
It wasn't the Supremes, it was Diana.
Patti LaBelle has had her share of rumored feuds in the industry, but there was one person she supposedly despised the most, like Arch-Nemesis level beef. And that person was none other than Diana Ross. There were whispers of rivalry, jealousy, and diva clashes behind the scenes. It got so heated at one point that Patti allegedly said she wanted to hit Diana. It was that deep.
Cheap stores and buy gold outfits. And so the next day, the day we wore them, the next day, the Supremes had on the same gold things. So
they were biting your style.
They were biting my style. No, for real.
But that wasn't the only beef. Patti was also rumored to have had beef with other icons, like the legendary Aretha Franklin, Natalie Cole, and even had a public back and forth with Wendy Williams. And let's not forget the alleged tension with Luther Vandross.
He struggled with the idea of coming out.
We talked about it. It was basically he did not want his mother to be, although she might have known.
There's a whole lot to unpack. So let's dive in.
Diana Ross wanted Cindy Birdsong to replace Florence Ballard, so Cindy left us just standing one night, waiting for her to come out and play. And Miss Thing was in Detroit with the Supremes. I said, that's cute.
A long time ago, there were talks about problems between Patti LaBelle and Diana Ross. People said they didn't like each other. Both women were big stars in the 1970s. They had strong voices, beautiful clothes, and many fans. Some people believed there was jealousy between them. Even though they never said bad things in public, many believed they had a silent fight. This fight didn't come from one moment. It grew over time. And it started when both were still in singing groups before going solo. Patti LaBelle said the problems began because Diana Ross and her group, the Supremes, copied her group's style.
Did y'all really have beef with the Supremes?
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't expect it like that.
It wasn't the Supremes, it was Diana and myself.
Patti's group didn't have much money, so they worked hard to look nice. They bought clothes from cheap stores like Walmart or Walgreens. They didn't have the money for fancy outfits. So when they finally bought something new, they felt proud. But the next day, the Supremes would wear the same kind of clothes. Patti felt like Diana was copying them, and it made her mad. She felt like they were being unfair.
One of those cheap stores and buy gold outfits. And so the next day, the day we wore them, the next day, the Supremes had on the same gold things. So
they were biting your style.
They were biting my style.
For Patti, it wasn't just about clothes. It was about hard work and respect. Her group tried to be different and creative. They used their little money to look special on stage. But every time they tried something new, the Supremes showed up wearing the same thing. It was frustrating. Patti thought they didn't care about what her group was going through. She believed Diana and her group had more money, so they didn't have to copy. It felt like they didn't respect her group's effort. This is when Patti started feeling hurt and angry. Then something happened that made things worse. One of Patti's group members, Cindy Birdsong, left their group without saying a word. Patti and the others were in Cleveland, ready to perform, but Cindy was missing. Later, they found out Cindy had been practicing with the Supremes for months behind their backs. She had made plans to join Diana Ross's group without telling anyone. This shocked Patti. She felt betrayed. It wasn't just about a group member leaving. It was about someone she trusted keeping a secret.
Cindy left us just standing one night, waiting for her to come out and play. And Miss Thing was in Detroit with the Supremes. I said, that's cute.
Patti understood why Cindy left. The Supremes were more famous and had more money. It was a big chance for Cindy, but Patti didn't like the way she left. She could have said something before leaving. Patti's group had a show that night, and losing Cindy at the last minute made it hard for them. It made the pain worse. Patti's anger toward Diana Ross grew stronger. Now it was not only about clothes or style. It had become personal. After that, Patti and Diana stayed far from each other. They didn't speak. If they were in the same room, they didn't look at each other. The bad feelings stayed for many years. People around them could feel the coldness. No one expected them to ever make peace. It seemed like the problem between them would last forever. But things changed many years later. Oprah Winfrey invited both women to her legend ball. It was a big event to honor Black women in music and film. Patti and Diana were placed at the same table. At first, it was uncomfortable, but Patti decided to speak. She thought it was time to move on. She said hello and started a friendly talk. For the first time in years, they smiled and talked like...
And we had issues up until we did the Legends Ball. Oprah Winfrey's Legend Ball.
That's right.
And Diana and I were at the same table. Thank God we made up.
After that event, the fight between them ended. Patti and Diana started being nice to each other. They no longer had bad feelings. Patti said it wasn't worth staying angry forever. Life was too short to carry hate. Both women had done great things in music. They were both legends. Patti believed it was better to respect each other than to keep holding the past. Now, when Patti and Diana see each other, they act kindly. They share respect, even if they were not close friends. The pain from the past is gone. They showed the world that even big stars can forgive, and sometimes peace can come from just one simple hello. So Diana Ross wasn't the only person Patti had issues with. Aretha Franklin was also another person Patti couldn't stand.
Patti LaBelle.
Oh, that was ridiculous. That is the craziest thing I've ever heard. I've never heard of anything more ludicrous.
For many years, people talked about the friendship between Aretha Franklin and Patti LaBelle. Some believed they were close friends. Others thought there was something not so friendly between them. Both women always said they respected each other. But still, rumors did not go away. People kept wondering if there was a problem. One big moment that made people talk happened in 2014. It was at the Women of Soul concert at the White House. Patti LaBelle tried to greet Aretha Franklin. She reached out her hand to say hello, but Aretha just walked past her. She didn't smile, didn't say anything, and didn't even look at Patti. That moment was caught on video. It quickly went viral on the internet. People made memes and jokes about it. Many fans believed Aretha snubbed Patti. Patti later said it was not a big deal. She even joked and said, "I just know she had on a green coat." She tried to laugh it off.
Mr. President, Mrs. Obama, I would like to say thank you for the 5 years that you've been in this wonderful house called White House.
But that was not the only time people noticed tension. In 2016, Patti's sweet potato pies became very popular in Walmart stores. Soon after that, Aretha started her own food line. Some people thought Aretha was trying to compete with Patti. Aretha even made a funny comment saying, "Miss Patti's going to have to move that pie to the side." Still, both singers tried to act like everything was fine. Patti said she never had problems with anyone. She also said nice things about Aretha's talent, but many fans could feel the friendship was not warm. Later, Aretha said she would stop performing because of health problems. Patti said this made her very sad. She called Aretha "my girl" and said it would be hard not seeing her sing anymore. That showed she still cared about Aretha. Things got even stranger in 2014 when a fake news story said Patti had attacked Aretha. The story was a joke, but Aretha didn't think it was funny. She sued the website for $10 million. She said the story hurt her good name. Patti kept saying she had no bad feelings toward Aretha. She remembered that Aretha once chose her to sing a special song at the Kennedy Center in 1994.
Aretha, I love you. Ain't no...
Patti often said Aretha was her hero. She explained that Aretha could be difficult, especially when she felt sick or tired. But Patti always said Aretha inspired her. Even after Aretha died in 2018, people still talked about their unusual friendship. Another person on the list is Natalie Cole.
I miss you like crazy. I miss you like...
Back in the 1980s, Patti LaBelle and Natalie Cole did not always get along. They were both very talented singers, but they had some tension. People said that Patti felt upset because of some things Natalie said. Natalie made comments that made it seem like she thought she was better than Patti in the music world. These comments were not fully talked about in public, but people close to them said their relationship was not always friendly. Years later, more trouble came between them during a stage show called After Midnight. This show was about the Cotton Club, a famous nightclub during the 1920s and 30s. The play had several big singers performing, including Fantasia Barrino, Patti LaBelle, Natalie Cole, and Gladys Knight. The show got good reviews, especially when Fantasia was on stage. But when Patti took over, the show ended early. This made Natalie very unhappy. Natalie Cole was very disappointed. She felt she didn't get her full time to shine on stage. She talked to her friends and said Fantasia was amazing, but Patti didn't do a good job. A source told Dish Nation that Natalie said Patti got tired during her performance. She said Patti would sometimes just move her lips instead of singing the words. Natalie also said Patti was too old and too tired to keep up with the show. Natalie did not keep these thoughts to herself. She was known for being outspoken. Other people in the show may have agreed with her, but they didn't speak as strongly as Natalie did. Some fans believed Patti gave her best. Others thought maybe Natalie was just upset about her short time in the show. Patti LaBelle and Natalie Cole were both great artists, but their personalities clashed. Maybe it was about pride, or maybe it was just bad timing. The truth is, we may never know everything that happened between them, but fans still talk about their talent and remember the music they gave us. Next is Cissy Houston. Yep, you heard right, Whitney Houston's mother. There was a time when people talked about a quiet feud between Patti LaBelle and Cissy Houston. Cissy Houston was the mother of famous singer Whitney Houston.
I know that a woman's duty.
Patti LaBelle was a close friend and mentor to Whitney. She cared for Whitney and tried to help her in her music career. But some people said that Cissy didn't like how close Patti was to her daughter. It was said that Cissy thought Patti was too involved in Whitney's personal life. Cissy may have wanted more control over who was around her daughter. This caused some tension between the two women. They didn't fight in public, but many fans noticed something was not right. People in the music world heard the rumors, but no one really spoke about it on TV or in interviews. Still, it seemed like there was coldness between them that never fully went away. Even though they never argued loudly in front of the world, the quiet feud was felt by those around them. Some believed Cissy thought Patti was trying to take her place as a guide in Whitney's life. Patti, on the other hand, may have just wanted to help Whitney, not hurt anyone. But misunderstandings can happen, especially when it comes to love and fame. Many fans hoped they would make peace, but no one saw that happen. Years later, in 2011, Patti LaBelle had another public moment, this time with talk show host Wendy Williams. Patti went on the Wendy Williams show to talk about her career and products. Wendy, known for asking tough and sometimes rude questions, asked Patti about rumors that she acted like a diva. Wendy also brought up Patti's food business in a way that seemed to make fun of it. Patti did not like this at all. She stayed calm during the show, but it was clear she was not happy. After the show, Patti spoke in an interview and shared how she felt disrespected. She didn't like Wendy's tone or the way she asked those questions. Patti felt she had done a lot in her life and deserved more respect. The moment became big news, and fans took sides. Some agreed with Wendy, but many stood with Patti. The clash reminded people that even famous stars have feelings. Next is Luther Vandross.
They aired this documentary on Luther on New Year's Day, and Patti LaBelle was featured in the documentary.
Patti LaBelle and Luther Vandross had a complicated friendship. They sang powerful love songs and had strong voices. Many people loved them for their music and talent. Even though they were friends, there was a time when they didn't get along very well. It wasn't a big fight, but people said there was tension between them. They were both very famous and loved the spotlight. Sometimes it's hard for two stars to share attention. That can make things difficult. But before Luther Vandross passed away in 2005, they made peace and became close again. They shared love and respect for each other in the end.
As a busy wife and mother, I could never imagine a quiet dinner at home. But due to the devastating effects of diabetes, I'm spending most of my nights alone.
After Luther died, Patti LaBelle spoke about something very personal. She said that Luther was gay. Some people were surprised, while others already guessed it. For many fans, this was not a big shock. But still, it made people talk a lot. Some said it was not her place to tell the world.
Did he struggle with the idea of coming out?
We talked about it. It was basically he did not want his mother to be, although she might have known.
They believed that was Luther's private business. Others thought she was just telling the truth about someone she loved and missed. People had different opinions about it, and many felt uncomfortable. Luther Vandross lived in a time when being openly gay was very risky, especially for black men. In the 1980s and 1990s, the music world was not very open or accepting. Luther was a sex symbol. Many women loved him, and he sang romantic songs that made people feel emotions. In the R&B world, which was also connected to the black church and strong cultural values, being gay was not seen as acceptable by many. This made it hard for someone like Luther to be himself in public. Luther never clearly said if he was gay or not. He didn't say yes, but he didn't say no either. In a 2001 interview with Vibe magazine, he joked about it. When asked if he was gay, he answered in a funny way, saying he had homes in both New York and Beverly Hills, playing with the word bi-coastal. He also said he knew he was paying a price for being so private, but he still wondered if it was worth it. Because he kept his life private, people started making up stories. Some even said he had AIDS, and a rumor once spread that he had died from it, which was false. These lies made life harder for him. With all the gossip and pressure, it's no surprise he stayed quiet. The world did not make it easy for him to be honest about who he was.
Are you sick? No, I just can't be seen right now. So I went by his home.
In that same interview, Luther shared something very sad. He said he had never been in love. He said the love he gave to others was never returned. His first heartbreak happened when he was only 16 years old. He told someone he loved them, but they didn't feel the same way. That moment hurt him deeply. It made him feel lonely and different. He said it made him feel like he didn't belong. Luther also said he wanted a real relationship. He wanted someone to love him, not someone who worked for him or just liked his fame. It's sad that a man who sang so beautifully about love never really got to feel that same love in his own life. He gave love to the world but did not receive it the same way. We don't know if Luther ever found the love he was searching for before he died. But it's clear he had to hide a big part of himself for a long time. That is the real tragedy. Not that Patti LaBelle spoke about him, but that he didn't feel safe enough to speak for himself while he was alive. Luther Vandross deserved to live openly and proudly, just like anyone else. Aside from Luther, Patti wasn't done with adding people to the list of Arch-Nemesis because James Brown is also on that list.
Hello, everybody. I wish I could be with you there tonight. I want to thank everyone and for your love and support.
There was an incident with my favorite man, James Brown, at the Apollo Theater. We were the opening act, and he had to follow. And we were singing Danny Boy and You'll Never Walk Alone.
LaBelle recently shared some stories about people who were not always kind. She spoke about different men in the industry, including the famous James Brown. She talked to Newsweek about her experiences with him. Patti first met James Brown in the 1960s. Back then, she was performing with her group, the Bluebells. They often opened for James Brown at the Apollo Theater. James was a big fan of their performances. Patti would sing her heart out, take off her shoes, and get the crowd excited. People would scream and cheer so loudly that James would joke backstage, telling them to get her off the stage so he could perform. He always wanted to be the star of the show, especially when the audience was full of energy. But it was all in good fun. After the show, he would tell Patti how amazing she was and encourage her to keep going. One time, there was an incident at the Apollo Theater. Patti and her group were singing powerful songs like Danny Boy and You'll Never Walk Alone. The audience loved them, giving them standing ovations. James Brown, who had to perform after them, wasn't happy about it. He told the stage crew to close the curtains on Patti and her group. He called them a rude name, which shocked Patti. It was a moment of tension, but things later changed.
And we got standing ovations for the whole time we were on. And so James said to the curtain guy, shut the curtain on those witches, would it be? I said, whoa! So
after getting over that situation, James Brown showed his respect for Patti. He told her that she always looked well-dressed and had great style.
James and I got over that. He said, Miss LaBelle, you know what? You're so fabulous. And I think you should do something for the young girls. I said, like what? He said, start a culture class.
He even suggested that she should start a class to teach young girls how to present themselves with style and confidence.
He said, because you always have your nails done, your hair done, and you're always wearing the right clothes. And what a compliment. So from a downer to an upper.
For Patti, that moment turned a bad situation into something positive. She realized that sometimes people don't dislike her. They just don't understand her. The last time Patti saw James Brown, he had lost a lot of weight, but still looked good. What she didn't know was that this would be the last time she would ever see him. Just 4 weeks later, James Brown passed away. Looking back, Patti felt grateful that she got to speak with him one last time. He seemed at peace, which felt strange to think about now. Next up is Al Green and Wilson Pickett.
So I recorded with Wilson Pickett, 6, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9. That song, right? With Sarah Dash and Nona Hendrix. And at the very end, I did something that he didn't like very much.
For Patti, 2 moments that stood out were with Wilson Pickett and Al Green. When Patti recorded the song 6, 3, 4, 5, 7, 8, 9 with Wilson Pickett, she was singing backup with Sarah Dash and Nona Hendrix. At the end of the song, she added a little extra. She sang, "Why Don't You Call Him?" It was just a small thing, but Wilson Pickett did not like it at all. He got so mad that he said, "If I had a gun, I would shoot you." That shocked Patti. She couldn't believe he got that upset over one line in the song. But back then, things were different.
I went off a background and went, "Why don't you call him?" And when I sang that part, he was so mad at me. He said, "If I had a gun, I would shoot you." I said, "Really?"
People got angry fast. She wrote about it in her book because she wanted to tell the truth.
No! Back in the day stuff. It's real because it's in my book, so nobody's going to beat me up for telling the truth.
Another bad moment happened on Broadway when she was in Your Arms Are Too Short to Box with God. During that time, Patti's sister Barbara was very sick with cancer. One day, there were 2 shows, a matinee in the afternoon and another at night. Patti asked to miss the afternoon show so she could visit her sister. The producer, Burnett Carroll, said it was fine, but Al Green had a big problem with it.
So I take those as compliments, and there was an Al Green moment when we were doing Arms Too Short to Box with God, and we were on Broadway. I'm going home to see my sister who's not well, who's dying of cancer. I don't care about your sister. Why do you want to say that?
Al Green got upset and said, "If she's going home, I'm going home too." That made things ugly. Patti explained that she was leaving to see her dying sister, but Al didn't care. He said, "I don't care about your sister." That was too much. Patti got so angry that she grabbed a glass, ready to throw it at him. Luckily, her friend Norma stopped her. Years later, Al Green apologized. Patti has been through a lot in her life, but she still found joy. She had bad moments, but she also had many good ones. That's just how life is.